Live from Washington, D.C., it's the Jim Bohannan Show, a presentation of the Mutual Broadcasting System. The Jim Bohannan Show is taking your calls now at 703-685-2177. That's 703-685-2177. Let the connection ring. We'll answer when it's your turn. And sitting in for Jim tonight, here's Dirk Van.
And give us a call. The subject is compelling. It's depressing. It's about depression. It's with Dr. Ravi Batra, professor of economics at Southern Methodist University, best-selling author. His book, which is now out in paperback, you can buy it. It's a Dell paperback. It's called The Great Depression of 1990. This man, this expert economist, Dr. Ravi Batra, predicts that we're going to have a worldwide slump. More than a slump, we're going to have a chaotic situation in the very near future. Give us a call now, 703-685-2177. Get in now and ask your question of Dr. Ravi Batra. We have a caller from Detroit. Hello, Detroit. Come on in.
Yes, on PBS about a week ago, they claimed they had a special show that claimed that the Central Intelligence Agency has been shipping heroin and cocaine into this country by the ton for over 40 years. Would this be, would this type of lawlessness be another indication that the ruling elite of this country is at the end of its growth cycle?
Well, PBS is a very respected station, and I'm sure they were talking in the sense. If that's true, that part is correct. The ruling elite has absolutely gone crazy. And they like to have more and more money while there's increasing homelessness at the same time.
Yeah, they don't care. They don't care if the heroin hits the streets of the United States, as long as they get their money for their foreign policy. That's all they care about.
I can't imagine that the. First of all, I wonder if there's a ruling elite. Do you believe there's a ruling class in this country? Is there?
Well, there certainly is. Try to buck them. Like, look at Mr. Batra when he tried to get his book published. What happened to him?
He got it published, though. That's the beauty of the country, isn't it?
Look at the trials and...
The thing's a bestseller. Come on.
Yeah, but I mean, a couple years ago, back in the early '80s, nobody would touch it. He had to peddle it store to store. You heard him say that.
Well, it's out there on the newsstands now. Thanks for your call, Detroit. Morristown, New Jersey. Come on in.
Dr. Batra, I wonder if you could comment on this contradiction. I think you have said that the new tax bill favors the rich, has led to a greater concentration of wealth and a greater disparity between the rich and poor ever before in our history, and will be a leading cause of the depression you predict. Yet, on the other hand, the chief architect of that legislation, Senator Bill Bradley of New Jersey, remains, I think, by all agreement, the most popular leader in the country. Could you comment on that?
Well, getting popular does not mean the policy is right. I remember that Herbert Hoover was very popular until the Depression hit. That's not a justification or that's not a criterion for looking at a policy. As far as wealth disparity is concerned, Forbes magazine, Forbes is a magazine of the rich, mentioned that the number of billionaires from 85 to 87 jumped by 250% in just 2 years. And I've never heard of such a huge jump in the entire history of this nation. 250% jump in the number of billionaires in 2 years.
I wish I was one of them. Don't go away. Don't go away. Number is 703-685-2177. We're going to have to take a break. The Jim Bohannan Show. I'm Dirk Van with best-selling author and professor of economics, Dr. Ravi Batra. Back after these messages.
Joe Babe, why do you invest with Charles Schwab?
There are a lot of reasons I invest with Schwab, but right now, I wouldn't even consider another broker. I'll tell you why. The market's so unpredictable. Why, one day, bonds look like a winner. The next day, treasuries look good. Then there's a mutual fund opportunity. CD rates go up, and then a stock starts to rise. With my one account at Schwab, I can take advantage of any number of investment opportunities. When something new comes along, I'm ready. I pick up the phone, call Schwab, and bingo, I'm in. Schwab makes it easy to switch back and forth with a quick phone call. And when I'm between investments, I can earn tax-free income on my cash. Schwab makes it easy to stay diversified. And you know what? I wouldn't be anywhere else.
To find out how you can switch to Schwab, call toll-free today, 800-654-9444. That's 800-654-9444. Call Schwab now.
Greetings, sports fans. Here's news about how you can get a free video cassette from Sports Illustrated. The all-new NFL Football Follies. 44 fun-filled minutes of the NFL's greatest flubs, fumbles, and flukes ever. All you do is call 1-800-4MY-SI, and you'll get the Football Follies video free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated. I bet you've been wanting to subscribe anyway, and now SI is over 47% off the cover price. 3 easy monthly payments of $9.89 each. You can even put it on a credit card. What a bargain for 25 weeks of America's best sports coverage. That means baseball, basketball, football, and more. You name it, SI covers it. And don't forget, you'll get the Football Follies video free. A deal this good won't last forever, so call Sports Illustrated toll-free 1-800-4MY-SI. That's 1-800-FORMYSI. Get your free video before it's gone.
You're listening to the Jim Bohannan Show, live from Washington, D.C. And sitting in for Jim, here's Dirk Van.
Thank you, Paul Henderson, with Dr. Ravi Batra, who's written a book called The Great Depression of 1990. Back to your calls. Come on in, Houston. Houston, are you with us?
Yes. I have 2 questions. One, does he know about the Super Bowl index that determines how the stock market will behave? It depends on who wins, which team, which league wins the Super Bowl.
Yeah, what is that? The national conference wins and we get a boom?
The stock market or the other one wins, something happens.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yes, I've heard about it.
Do you think football has anything to do with it?
No, nothing to do with it.
Second question. Do you see any correlation between the stock market crash of 29 occurred in October and the one in 87 occurred in October? What is it about that quarter of the year that is there any coincidence there?
I really don't know why it happens just in October rather than in other months. I'm sorry, I really don't have the answer to that question. It's just a coincidence, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Houston. Let's go to Niagara Falls and get married. Hello, Niagara Falls. Come on in.
Yes, Dr. Batra, it's very enlightening. Now, this is the question. If the government has to keep borrowing money just to pay the interest on its loans, won't the banks keep getting richer and richer? And it's to their advantage not to have the principal paid up? And where are all these banks located? I'll hang up and listen to your answer.
Well, the banks would have made a lot of money in the 1980s because interest rates are among the highest in history now. But the banks also made very bad loans to third world countries to buy through mistakes. So they made loans to energy companies, and they have lost a lot of money. So as in the 1920s, the bank failures have been rising now too.
Moravia, New York, come on in.
Hello, is that myself?
Yes, that's you.
No, I'm from Moravia. Dr. Batra.
Yes.
May I ask how you spell your name?
Batra.
Oh, so it's not like the old tennis player?
No.
No, there was a great tennis player. No, there's a couple of questions I want to ask. You obviously come from the continent of India.
Yes.
Which?
Oh, I've come from near New Delhi.
Near Delhi.
Yes.
Splendid. No, one always knew. The reason I asked about Batra, there was a great tennis player called Batra. We always knew that, you had the best eyesight and the best minds. The best actual intellect.
Well, thank you.
And it is very interesting that somebody should come, from another continent, quite simply, and sort of begin to tell the American continent what it's up to.
Well, nobody has monopoly on intellect, I would say. So
you're sort of telling the world what it's up to, though, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right. I guess, well, in a way, perhaps my fellow critics, the economists, are right saying that I've been lucky in my forecast, but maybe there's more than luck.
Thank you, Moravia. Thank you for your call. Let's go to Salt Lake City. Come on in, please.
Oh, hello, Dr. Batra.
Yes.
I didn't get in on the first of the show, so I wondered if you mentioned what would happen to a person's Social Security or bed pension in case this depression comes on. I've often thought a person couldn't live without Social Security.
Well, Social Security is safe. It has a surplus right now, and it will be safe in the 1990s also. Other pensions I'm not so sure of, but Social Security is fairly safe.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Salt Lake City. Come on in, Houston.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Dr. Batra.
Yes.
I'm a small businessman in the Houston, Texas area. I run a job shop, machine shop, and our economy has, and for many years, as you well know, run on oil and gas, which crashed in 1982. Now, our petroleum economy has been very bad, and we've had a rough time. Our machinery is now getting old and tired and non-productive, and very many shops in the Houston area have failed.
Okay, what's your question then?
Since our economy now is rapidly expanding and our clients are demanding delivery, clients are demanding more production, and the temptation is to expand with debt.
I won't do that. I won't do that. There is going to be another big fall of oil prices in the 90s.
Well, I'm afraid of that too, but it's very tempting to try to expand to please your customers or just live.
Well, ask for cash in advance and then satisfy their demand.
Thank you very much.
You know, Dr. Batra, you really are a killjoy. Let's go to Philadelphia. Philadelphia, come on in.
Yeah, thank you. Doctor, please don't... I want to establish briefly a premise and then ask you a challenging question. And don't smoke screen this here. Just tell me I'm wrong if I'm wrong. I'm going to go with the 80-20 odds that since you're a college professor, you're a liberal Democrat. Okay? Now, just tell me I'm wrong. Don't...
You're wrong. I'm neither a Democrat nor a Republican.
Okay, all right, right. Okay. Now, and briefly, Herbert Hoover, by the way, under Herbert Hoover, the Fed tightened credit at exactly the wrong time, and Herbert Hoover did not want that. People don't bring that up. I wonder why. But I want to ask you accountability here. Since there's so many books on, like, the Bermuda Triangle earthquakes, UFOs, the end of the world, the assassination conspiracies of JFK, RFK, and MLK, I'd like to ask you this about your book. Since the SEC Act of 33 and 34, the FSLIC, the FDIC, since economists today and brokers and the Fed clearly understand that the pieces are not here to predict a recession specifically in time, let alone a depression, why don't you do this? If you're wrong, why don't you donate the proceeds of this book to charity?
I would.
Okay, thanks for your call. Let's go to Detroit. Hello.
Yes, sir. I have a question for Dr. Batra. We are 20% partners in 3 mobile home parks, 2 in Michigan and 1 in Florida, which are doing very well right now. I'm wondering, what do you think would happen in a depression since the people we have now are blue-collar workers?
What you're saying, you have rental property?
It's a mobile home park, yes.
Yes. Is it heavily mortgaged? Do you have a heavy debt on this?
On one of them, we still owe about half, and the others we probably owe about 1/3.
I see.
And we have a real good cash flow.
Okay, if you have a real good cash flow, keep it. That's the deal. If you have a real good cash flow could fall somewhat in the 90s, but if you have liquidity elsewhere also and good cash flow now, then keep it. Otherwise, sell 1 or 2 of them.
A lot of people would like to buy it. We don't want to sell it because it's doing very well. But so the only thing that would probably happen is cash flow would go down. But
do you own the homes or the parks?
I beg your pardon?
Do you own the mobile homes or do you own the parks?
No, the owners own the mobile homes. We just owe the property if they pay us rental.
Okay.
Yeah, I think if you have plenty of savings elsewhere and you have a good cash flow now, you should keep it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Detroit. Thank you for your call. We're going to be back on the Jim Bohannan Show with Dr. Ravi Batra, the economic forecaster, who says there's going to be a big depression in 1990. That's the title of his book, The Great Depression of 1990. Be back right after these messages.
Preparing taxes has become so complicated that almost everyone needs help. So it's no wonder the demand for trained tax preparers grows each year. Would you like to enter this rewarding and satisfying field? National Tax Training School has prepared thousands of men and women with tax preparation skills for over 30 years. You don't need an accounting or bookkeeping background. National Tax Training School offers an expert professional training home study course. You can probably save enough on your own tax returns to pay for the course. Be a tax consultant. Work part-time or full-time during the tax season or all year round. National Tax Training School is accredited by the National Home Study Council and approved for veterans training. Get the facts. Drop a card to Tax, P.O. Box 3810, Grand Central Station, New York, 10163. There's no obligation. No salesman will call. That's Tax, Box 3810, Grand Central Station, New York, 10163. Has anyone ever praised your storytelling ability, your powers of description, your clever use of words? Has anyone ever said you really ought to be a writer? Well, lots of people, just like yourself, are born with the natural talent to write and are even earning money just doing what comes naturally. Why not find out if you have what it takes to become a professional writer? It's so easy. Just drop a card to Writers, P.O. Box 3840, Grand Central Station, New York, 10163. The Writers Institute Home Study School will send you a free aptitude test. Take it in the privacy of your own home and see for yourself if you have a real flair for writing. For over 50 years, the Writers Institute has been helping people to write for full-time or part-time income, or just for pleasure. Send for your test today. No salesman will call, and there's no obligation. That's Writers, Box 3840, Grand Central Station, New York, 10163. You're listening to the Jim Bohannan Show, live from Washington, D.C. And sitting in for Jim, here's Dirk Van.
Is there going to be a Great Depression in 1990? Dr. Ravi Batra is with us, and he says there's going to be. Let's go to Houston. Houston, your call, please.
Yes, I have a question. I've got about $4,000 that I'm planning to put aside for my son's college education. I was thinking about zero coupon bonds, maybe get interest rate of about 9.5%. Since I'll be holding on to these for about 16, 17 years, do you think this is a good way to save for his education?
I would recommend instead the AAA bonds of cash-rich companies. I think they are far safer. Companies like Ford, Exxon, Shell Oil, they have a lot of cash, and they are far safer, and they have AAA bonds.
I thought the oil prices were going to go way down, though.
Well, the oil companies, they sell refined oil, so they'll get raw oil at a cheaper price and sell it at a profit.
Thanks, Houston. Let's go back to Detroit. Hi, Detroit. Come on, you're on. Detroit? No, I guess not. We've got another customer from Detroit. Come on in.
I'm Mary, and I'd like to know would it be safe? Is there some way, I'm thinking of retiring, is there some way that I can read the retirement, the pension fund of the company that I'm going to retire from? It's really a government.
First of all, I would suggest postpone your retirement as far as you can. Work as hard as you can now and save as much as you can right now. But if you have to retire, then take out as much money in lump sum as possible and put them in safe banks.
Oh, you think I should? See, the thing is, I'm 50, so I would be a young retiree.
Oh, I see.
And I plan to go back to school to further my education.
I would do that in the 90s.
You think it's a good, I should postpone my education, do you think?
Yeah, and do that in the 90s.
Oh, I see. Okay, thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you for your call. Cleveland, come on in.
Oh, I got two questions for your guest.
Go ahead.
How long did it take you to write his book?
How long what to take? Well, I made the forecast of the coming depression in 1978. At that time, the problems that you see today were not apparent at all. Now there are unbelievable problems. So it took me 5-6 years of long study to write the book, and then another 2 years to find a publisher. And didn't find any publisher. I had to self-publish it at first. The book became very successful. Then big publishers came forward.
What's the best and worst financial investment of the 90s?
Gold could be a very good investment in the 90s. The worst would be real estate.
keep bringing that up, and I'm
sorry.
I wish you'd lay off the real estate.
In the 1930s, I remember there were houses which you just couldn't give away.
Yeah. Let's go to Atlanta. Hi. Come on in.
Atlanta?
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Batra, I am a retired lady, and I have my savings in CD certificates that will not expire until 1991. Would you recommend I leave them there, or would you recommend I cash them?
99 depends on what kind of banks they are in. If
savings and loans.
Yeah, if ask your banks for a profit and loss statement over the past 3 years and see if they have been making money or not. If they have been making money, then your CDs are safe.
And you think it would be wise to just cancel it, even if it is in mid-term?
Don't cancel it now. I don't think until 1990 comes that there'll be any problem. So you might need to cancel at that time if the banks are not so good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your call, Atlanta. Hamden, Connecticut, you're up next.
Perhaps you've heard of a Robert Theobald. He comes from India also.
I'm sorry, I don't remember.
Okay, isn't it true that money is backed by productivity?
Yes.
And isn't it also true that factory automation is the technological solution for vastly increased productivity?
Yes.
Then wouldn't it be also true that if we invest in factory automation, we could possibly avert a depression?
Yes.
But that's not happening, right?
That's not happening, yes. So much money is concentrated in the hands of the wealthy that they're simply buying out businesses rather than creating new automation or investing in new technology.
What can we do about that?
What could we do about it? As I said, we'll have to tighten the the institutions so that banks don't lend money for business takeovers. Because lending money for business takeovers is a wastage of capital. Money should be lent for the purchase of houses, for cars, and so on.
And you want to tax the billionaires.
That's right. Multimillionaires and billionaires.
The multimillionaires. How many are there?
There are 800,000 families with 2 million or more in assets.
That's a lot of money. We'll break for news. We'll be back with Professor Ravi Batra, best-selling author of The Great Depression of 1990. Has it already started coming true? And we'll take more of your calls. Dirk Van for Jim Bohannan tonight. Hope you have a pleasant evening. And stay with us. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
CNN, the leader in live news coverage and more. Delivering more business news programming than any other broadcast network. CNN Business News has learned series and specials that explore and investigate.
You can cure AIDS.
Sports coverage that goes beyond the scores.
Well, how dirty is it? What happens? Is it drugs?
Award-winning programs, both entertaining.
He's sitting there like he's in Rockaway in a beach chair.
Provocative.
Are you comparing?
CNN. It's not just news. It's real live television.
If you have teenagers, I'm asking you to have a very difficult talk with them. Not about sex. For a lot of us, that would be easy compared to drugs. Drugs like cocaine and crack. But you must talk to them about drugs. If you don't talk about it, if you don't fight it, why should they? The idea of your kids using cocaine or crack ought to scare you to death. So please, learn about it and talk about it. This is Walter Cronkite speaking for the Partnership for a Drug-Free America.
Join me, Larry King, for America's most popular late-night radio talk show, The Larry King Program, nightly at 11 on WMAN Mansfield, the information leader.
The summit is in the offing. With Mutual News, I'm Peter Burns in Washington. Police tightened security in the Soviet capital in preparation for President Reagan's arrival. Scores of streets are sealed off near the U.S. Embassy in downtown Moscow, where Reagan is due to arrive Sunday afternoon. Jesse Jackson says President Reagan's anti-drug strategy has failed. The Democratic presidential contender told a crowd in New Jersey, in his words, "You can't stop a $150 billion industry just by saying no or reading palms." Michael Dukakis spoke out against homelessness in America while accepting a check for a homeless health care project in Boston. The Democratic presidential frontrunner will campaign Sunday in New Jersey. Syrian and Lebanese troops are patrolling suburbs south of Beirut, Lebanon. And the rival Muslim militia have spent 3 weeks there fighting. At least 260 people have died in the battles for control of 14 square miles of slums. From Washington, Peter Burns, Mutual News.
This Memorial Day, save money by shopping the easy way with TelShop, the only cable shopping network that takes you on location and guarantees you the lowest price on everything they sell. Our special Memorial Day show will be offering an insider's look into sharp electronics, front row seats at the Women's Fashion Show in Marina del Rey, a visit from Gary Riddell, the publisher of Doll Reader magazine, and much, much more. All exclusively on TelShop this Memorial Day. For the lowest prices guaranteed, tune in to TelShop on your FNN cable channel.
This is Bill Cosby. I love reading to kids. Their little faces light up, they giggle at the funny parts, and they jump at the scary parts. Reading to kids is fun, but it's also good for them. You see, if you read to your kids, they'll get interested in books, and pretty soon they'll be reading on their own. The next thing you know, they'll get good grades in school, and they'll get smarter and smarter. And then they'll be reading to you. And that's a pretty good deal. So read to someone you love today.
A public service message from the American Library Association and your local library.
This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
You're listening to the Jim Bohannan Show, live from Washington, D.C. And sitting in for Jim, here's Dirk Van.
With Dr. Ravi Batra, the economic forecaster, the shocking book, The Great Depression of 1990. We'll get back to your calls now. Let's go to Fort Myers, Florida. Hello, Fort Myers.
Hello. You have a very interesting program, and I was wondering what you thought about government bonds. I mean, 3, 5, 8-year bonds, and if they would be good and if they would be paid off. And I was wondering, if they'd be safe to keep them in those.
Well, I prefer, as far as the long-term bonds are concerned, I prefer the bonds of cash-rich AAA companies because they are not in debt. They have the cash. And with the government, I prefer the short-term T-bills, the Treasury bills, which go from 3 to 12 months, but nothing more than that, because the government is in a lot of debt, and a debtor, you don't know what a debtor would do next.
How about municipal bonds?
AAA municipals are fine.
And insured triple?
That's fine, yes.
Thank you very much for your call, Fort Myers. Let's go to Tucson, Arizona.
Yes, Professor. If there is a worldwide depression, what measures might be taken by the world's governments after the crash to correct these economic problems? And would these measures help lead to some form of world government, or at least a unified world economic political system?
Well, the world governments will have to introduce the kind of reforms I have suggested, and that is to strike at the very cause of the depression, and that is to reduce the concentration of wealth. They will have to do that at that time. If they did it now, perhaps we could prevent the depression. It's still not too late. And in the future, yes, there will be worldwide cooperation among the governments, and that's how we will get out of it.
Isn't that assuming a lot politically?
Well, under crisis, anything can happen. Let's remember that in the 30s, only the war brought us out of the 30s depression, and not reforms. But this time, I don't think war is feasible. War will be more destructive than solving any problems. So real reforms will have to be introduced.
Richmond Beach, Washington. Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
Good. I'm just laying here listening and getting madder and madder. I hope that Mutual is running a disclaimer on this man. I mean, these little old ladies are calling in. A businessman, a very small businessman, it sounds like, from Houston is calling in. And this guy is giving him advice. This guy is nothing but a crystal ball gazer, like most economists.
Yeah, but, he told me to sell my home, or not sell it, not to move up. I mean, it's advice, you have to take it in that spirit, don't you think, Richmond Beach? I mean, it doesn't mean you have to do what he says.
Yeah, but there are a lot of gullible people out there. An awful lot of gullible people. And I'm just worried that they're going to take the guy's advice, and then we'll really be in trouble.
I don't know. We get advice from so many different sources. We get them from books. We get them from radio. You know, we get them from TV primarily.
Explain the situation with this guy.
I don't know, Dr. Batra. Does this kind of call anger you or not? I mean, you obviously disagree with it.
No, it doesn't anger me. You know, he's entitled to his views. Everybody's entitled to his views.
I mean, Richmond Beach, you don't buy any of this, right?
Absolutely not. Listen, there's two.
Even though 15 out of 16 of my forecasts have come true, while everybody else has been wrong, you still don't buy them?
No.
Okay, well.
You have not shown me 15 out of 15. You have shown me one, which is 1990.
Oh, well, look. People magazine has written about me. Time has written. Newsweek has written. All of the magazines, all the journalists have written. And when the journalists go after you, they really dig into your record. Ask Gary Hart about that. So they have examined all my forecasting ability of the past. Not a single person has accused me of making a wrong forecast.
What are you going to do about all these little old ladies that are going to take your advice and sell their seeds?
I will be very happy because I remember right after the stock market crash of 87, I got about 300 calls and letters saying that we followed your advice, we had sold our stock before the crash occurred, and we have saved ourselves millions.
I certainly hope that the people that are listening have more sense than to follow your advice, because we'll certainly be in trouble then.
Well, did you sell your stocks before 87 crash, October crash? Or were you in the stock market still?
I was not in the market at the time.
Okay, well, you are a different...
And I have not heard of anyone at all that was in the market. Everybody says that they were out before it crashed.
Okay, well...
I can't understand what happened.
Look, you've made your point, and I thank you for your call, Richmond Beach. Let's go to Seattle. Hi.
Hi. First of all, I'd just like to say thank you, Dr. Batra, for your perseverance in getting this information out to the working people of America. Second of all, I'd like to say that we had a mountain out here called Mount St. Helens that exploded, and right before that did, there was a man named Harry Truman that lived on that mountain that was informed that that was going to happen. He said, the mountain will be here forever, and he's still buried in it. Skeptics will always be around. Unfortunately, they never learn. I have 3 questions for you. First of all, how long...
Maybe we can take one. We got a lot of callers, okay?
Sure.
Thanks.
The major one, then, is pension funds. I'm a union electrician. Is my pension fund going to last? Most of it's invested in the stock market.
Well, if it's in the stock market, it's a very dangerous type of investment. I have recommended to many pension managers to put most of their money in long-term bonds of cash-rich companies, and maybe you can tell them the same.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your call. Let's go to Detroit. Hi.
Hi. I have a son that is... he just started working. He's out of school, and he doesn't have much money saved up, and so I loaned him $5,000 for down payment for our home, and so he owes like $58,000 to the mortgage company, and although he has a good job, and he thinks he will keep on working, that he won't. So what do you think? Did I do the wrong thing, by...
No, not in your case. The mortgage is fairly small. The monthly payment must be small. So just ask him to save as much money as he can out of his income and not buy things on credit cards, that's all.
Yes, he won't be able to save anything because his payments... because he has a school payment, a loan payment for his school and also for his car, and but he thinks it's still better than to pay high rent. And it's in a upcoming neighborhood. Although the house is assessed for only $12,000, but he's paying $63 for a little bitty house, no garage or anything.
Well, he has to do something to increase his savings. If that requires selling house, I would do that. I have done it myself. I sold my house in 81, and I was ready to buy another one. Then I discovered my cycles, and I made the forecast that in Dallas and Houston, etc., real estate will sharply fall. So I never got into another house, and by now my forecasts have come true.
Thanks, Detroit. Thanks for your call. I hope your cycles are wrong, you know that? I got all these credit cards here.
I hope so, too.
Throw these credit cards at you. And I'm going to make you pay. Dr. Ravi Batra, our guest on the Jim Bohannan Show. We'll talk more about Dr. Batra's theory of an upcoming worldwide depression. We'll be back right after these messages.
Greetings, sports fans. Here's news about how you can get a free video cassette from Sports Illustrated. The all-new NFL Football Follies. 44 fun-filled minutes of the NFL's greatest flubs, fumbles, and flukes ever. All you do is call 1-800-4MY-SI, and you'll get the Football Follies video free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated. I bet you've been wanting to subscribe anyway, and now SI is over 47% off the cover price. 3 easy monthly payments of $9.89 each. You can even put it on a credit card. What a bargain for 25 weeks of America's best sports coverage. That means baseball, basketball, football, and more. You name it, SI covers it. And don't forget, you'll get the Football Follies video free. A deal this good won't last forever, so call Sports Illustrated toll-free 1-800-4MY-SI. That's 1-800-FORMYSI. Get your free video before it's gone.
I'm Dom DeLuise. There are millions of drug addicts and alcoholics in the world, and not one of them ever thought that they would become addicted.
Hello, I'm Burt Reynolds. Cheap, popular, and available almost anywhere. I'm talking about designer drugs like crack, tar balls, and XTC. These drugs are killing our children.
I'm Dick Clark. Alcoholism and drug abuse destroy millions of lives every year.
I'm Linda Gray. Drug and alcohol abuse is becoming the largest killer in the country. And the problem is getting worse. If you or someone you know has this problem, Parents Against Alcohol and Drugs want you to know help is available. Habilitant has a 24-hour toll-free hotline for crisis intervention and referral. 1-800-USA-2525. They can tell you firsthand how they kicked their habit and how you can kick yours. 1-800-USA-2525.
This public service announcement presented by the Habilitant program and this station. We care about the youth of today.
You're listening to the Jim Bohannan Show, live from Washington, D.C. And sitting in for Jim, here's Dirk Van.
Dr. Ravi Batra is our guest. The book, The Great Depression of 1990. We go to Atlanta. Hello.
2 quick questions. First, what events will mark the actual onset of the Depression between now and 1990? And under this scenario, is gold a good investment at today's prices, or will it fall first? I'll hang up and listen.
Up to the election, there is not much going to happen. After the election, I think the dollar will fall even more. And if the dollar keeps falling sharply, that's a trigger, because if the dollar falls sharply, the Japanese stock market will go into a tailspin. And if the government of the United States tries to support the dollar by raising interest rates, that will hurt America immediately. So the trigger is the fall of the dollar. And as far as gold is concerned, it's very hard to perfectly time the purchase of gold. I would start buying it little per month, even now. But it's possible that right after the stock market crashes and the depression starts, gold could go down sharply. But it's very hard to time it perfectly.
We go to St. Louis. Hello.
Good evening, gentlemen. Dr. Batra, I bought your book a couple of years ago. I had to send away for it because I couldn't find it in a bookstore. You recommend buying gold. How about investing in silver? Thank you.
Silver moves with gold in inflation and in normal times, but not during Great Depressions. Gold sometimes rises in Great Depressions, but silver always falls. So silver is not recommended.
Okay, thank you for your call. Let's go to Tacoma, Washington. Hi, you're on.
Dr. Batra, on your opinion of government bonds, many people will say the government has the printing press, but they can also devalue the bonds as they can also do with the currency. I would like to know what you think of that.
Well, it's true, the government does have the printing press, but if the government prints a lot of money, there will be dangers of hyperinflation. And if there is inflation, then bonds are bad anyway. Even the government bonds are bad if there is inflation. So either way, the long-term government bonds could be bad investments. The long-term corporate AAA bonds may suffer from that, but I think a little bit of investment in them may not be
right.
bad.
I'm a crystal ball gazer or economics major here at the University of Puget Sound in Tacoma. And
but by the way, my forecasts are not at all based on crystal ball gazing. They're based on historical patterns, and that's why they have been true all this time.
I agree with you. I'm an economics major, and on your opinion on housing, don't you think that the housing market, which is already starting to become a buyer's market in many parts of the nation, a lot of people will be just going nuts to sell their houses when they're losing their jobs and things?
That's right. That's why the housing market will collapse.
It's a good time to have some cash and perhaps buy some. The last comment I'd like to make...
Will you stop talking about the housing market?
Sorry.
You're giving me goosebumps.